Happy New Year, everyone! So I'd intended for this video to be my winter capsule wardrobe video, but because of the holidays, I put my capsule planning off, and the video should hopefully be ready for this weekend. So I asked you on Instagram if you guys had any questions, and I'm gonna be doing a Q&A. I'm excited to do this. I haven't done a Q&A in quite a while. So the first question is from Fru Endland. I'm sorry if I mispronounce anyone's username, and it is, can you do a house tour in some video? I will do a house tour at some point, hopefully soon, but I'm not sure when yet, but yes, I will do a house tour. Next, Highly Suggestible says, what's your take on loungewear, and are the clothes in your capsule comfortable enough to lounge in, or do you tend to wear separately for that category? So I have quite a few pretty comfortable clothes in my capsule that I can definitely lounge in, but I do have clothes that are separate that I just specifically wear around the house. I think it's good to have separate clothes because first of all, it allows me to extend some of the pieces that are a bit older, maybe worn in, that I don't necessarily want to wear in public, but they're still totally fine to wear, so I can wear them around the house. It also helps prevent a bit my day-to-day clothes from getting stretched out and more worn out. Because I find if I'm just lounging around on the couch, I'll sit in like weird positions which stretch out the knees of my clothes more. The next question is from Ujala Shujat. How often do you buy new clothes, accessories, shoes with the whole capsule wardrobe thing? What about parties? Do you have just one or two party dresses for every season which you wear to every party? It totally depends on what I think I need for my capsule, so maybe it's only a few pieces, maybe it's more. Some capsule wardrobes I buy one or two new pieces. This capsule wardrobe coming up, for example, I think I've bought the most new pieces for. And when I say new, I also mean like new to me. They could be secondhand. I basically create a wish list of items, and I don't necessarily buy them all for right when the capsule starts. I sometimes leave some holes of things that I'm still gonna look for throughout the season. I kind of keep an ongoing wish list of clothes that I think would work in my capsule wardrobes in general, but I think it's a little different for me because I am quite frequently researching brands, so I definitely look at clothes a lot more so I can keep my eyes open for things that I'm looking for. So I'm in a way sort of shopping throughout the year, as opposed to quite a lot of people with capsule wardrobes, well, they'll just sort of set aside a chunk of time to look for the pieces that they're shopping for. And with party dresses, this is something I definitely struggled with a bit. I currently have two really formal dresses, one for more spring, summer, and one that can be worn in winter. And I have those separate from my capsule wardrobe, and I have them in my closet for if anything comes up. But I would like to eliminate those. Ideally, I would have no dresses that are specifically for formal events and only have pieces that I can dress up as needed or rent something if it's a really formal event that I need something for. Wellspring Hope says, I'd be interested in knowing how you feel about investment pieces such as purse, coat, boots that are higher dollar and purchased new. I'm torn on that one. Also, do you have one item that has carried through multiple seasons and capsule wardrobes for you, a perfect closet staple? So first of all, my items that have carried me through multiple seasons, my jeans for sure are definitely a staple. And then things like basic tanks I really like for layering. I always like having some sort of longer cardigan. And I generally like having a flared skirt. I find that that works really well for having a more dressier option that's also comfortable and that I can wear day to day. And the other part of your question about investment pieces kind of ties into another question, so I will answer them together. So Jessica L. Cheryl says, let's say you have a particular item you've wanted to add to your wardrobe for quite some time, and you can't find that piece in a thrift shop or a sustainable brand or in your budget, etc. What do you think of buying the item from a non-sustainable brand, as it's something you've wanted for quite some time and therefore you would wear it often and get a lot of use out of it? So I think if you can't find what you're looking for from a sustainable or ethical brand, if you're investing in something that's good quality, that's going to last you a long time, that you're going to use a lot and take care of, I mean, that is a big part of sustainability as well. A lot of the problems in the fashion industry essentially stem from people buying way too many clothes and treating them as disposable, so wearing them maybe once or twice and then throwing them away. So if you can avoid that, then it's a step in the right direction. Next, II187 says, have you ever bought clothes from sustainable brands you mentioned in your videos? And if no, are you planning to do so? So I have bought clothes from brands that I mention. I obviously don't buy a ton of clothes, so I can't buy from all of the brands that I talk about. I basically keep a list of all of the brands that I think are doing good things. On my website, if you want a brand directory as a shopping starting point, I'll include the link down below in the description. So if I'm looking for something, I will often just browse through. I've bought from some brands, not a ton of them or all of them, and I will buy from more of them in the future. So Laura Brainwood says, what has been the hardest part about living a more minimalist lifestyle? That's a good question. I think at first the hardest part was finding the amount of stuff that was right for me. I got a little too caught up in the whole reduce as much as possible, try to have 100 things, and that's just not at all realistic for me. I have hobbies that require a lot of things like sewing and knitting and textile kinds of crafts, and those are things that I really enjoy doing. So it was a little difficult for me to find that balance. I definitely think that there is some pressure to have as little as possible, and especially being on YouTube and a bit more public, people like to criticize you for not being minimalist enough. Finding that line of having the stuff that I use and love and removing the excess, but not having as little as I possibly could, I think that was sort of difficult to navigate, and it took quite a while. Next, I have 3 questions which are all about laundry, so I'll answer them together. First, Fruit Enlin says, how often do you wash your clothes and how do you do it? And then Sprout and Blossom also says, and what do you wash your clothes in? Do you have a system for how you wash your clothes as well as household laundry? And Rasa Het says, and if you use wash nuts or any other natural self-made washing product. Okay, so I do laundry whenever we have a full load, which I would say is probably every week to week and a half. I generally do a dark load and a light load, and then all of our sheets and towels. And we only have one set of sheets and towels, so I wash it early in the morning, hang it up to dry. We don't have a dryer, so everything is air dried, and then they're generally ready by nighttime. If they're drying a little slow, like maybe it's a rainy or more humid day, then I will put our drying rack next to the heater so that they can dry in time for the evening. And so far that's worked fine. I also hand wash things, anything that's more delicate or something that I know that I'm gonna want to wear again before we have a full load of laundry. I use a washing machine to wash the majority of our clothes. Unfortunately, our washing machine is not very good. We got it from the previous tenants of the apartment and it doesn't have a cold setting. So I tend to wash them on the short setting, but it is at a warm temperature. So I don't like that because I much prefer to wash our clothes in cold water. Not only is it more energy efficient and better for the environment, but it's also a lot better for the clothes. It doesn't fade them as quickly or wear them out as quickly. We hang everything to dry, which not only saves a lot of energy, but is also a lot better for the clothes. Also, most of my clothes I don't actually wash after every wear unless I'm really sweaty, and certain things like jeans and jackets I wash pretty rarely. I actually wore one of my pair of jeans for almost a year, over a year, without washing them. I do have a video about it, which I will link. Quite often people actually wash their clothes more than they need to, but obviously use your discretion, see if it's smelly or dirty. I'm currently using soap nuts. I only started using them in November, I believe, and so far I'm really liking them. Although I was informed that there are some economic export issues around soap nuts, and apparently horse chestnuts do the same thing, so I would love to try that out. So Evelyn Bayer says, do you know of any places where you can buy sustainable fabric made out of recycled materials? I'm not talking about ready-to-wear clothes, but actual fabric that I would sew myself. So the only place I think that sells recycled materials that I know of is Offset Warehouse. When I was living in Canada, I did buy some fabrics from Organic Cotton Plus, and I really like their materials. They carry a lot of organic materials. They also carry color-grown cotton. If you didn't know, cotton actually can be grown in a variety of colors, including greens and browns, so it's not dyed or anything. So that's really cool. Next, Maru Safakin says, what do you use as a face and body moisturizer? I use currently sweet almond oil as a face moisturizer and as a body moisturizer. Now, you guys, if you've seen my other videos, I have talked about using jojoba oil and argan oil, and I really like both of those. If I have really dry elbows or any really dry skin, I use coconut oil for that. But yeah, right now I'm mainly just using sweet almond oil and I'm really liking it. I really like using oils. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry if I didn't get to your question. This video might actually be too long for one video, so I might split it up into 2 parts. But this was a lot of fun. I definitely want to do more Q&As like this. I really enjoyed it. So thank you to those of you who asked questions. Thank you for watching. And thank you so much to those of you who are supporting me on Patreon. And I will see you in the next one.